You are listening to CrossTalk, a safe place to discuss addiction, recovery, harm reduction, and everything in between. Support for this podcast comes from the Kentucky Opioid Response Effort and Advocates of Recovery. Content and production by the team at Turning Point Recovery Community Center. Now, buckle up and get ready for the show.
Welcome everyone to CrossTalk Recovery, the recovery podcast that supports all forms of recovery. I'm Matt Lewis, and I'm here with
Sam Peterson,
Lauren Carr,
and Todd Morris.
Welcome you all. This is going to be fun because Lauren, who I love, hasn't been on in a very long time. Longer than I realized. And she used to be...
I think it was a regular.
You were on all the time. What's it called when someone is like...
well, she's a celebrity now.
Yeah, she's got too big for us. Is what it was.
I used to be on, and like this whole setup. This is very nice. The greenery and the plants.
What's funny is we're getting ready to change it again. It's been that long.
It's been that long since you've been on. It's time to revamp the studio.
So that just means that I need to come back on again.
Right.
Yeah. We love having you on.
Lauren used to come to their Christmas parties, specials.
She, go on out of town trips with us. She was a real part of the team.
Bigger and better things.
Yeah.
Well, it is me and Matt, so it's not like it's
So she was supposed to come on today.
Very low bar.
And then she changed the time.
I did.
And I was already supposed to be seeing Todd today. So we threw Todd in here and pulled him on, and which is really cool because they have history.
It's that invisible string. It's that invisible string that ties everything together.
Yeah.
So
it worked out exactly as it's supposed to.
I was just talking to Todd's where he works at, all his people telling how great a job he's been doing with the sober living guys and getting them eligible for the housing scholarship, all that. I mean, he's been doing the thing over there, man.
Todd's been doing great things, man. He's advocating in the community. He just spoke at the Overdose Awareness Day.
Which was I think that was your first time speaking?
Oh, yeah, I was very nervous, but I'm
you
glad
could not tell.
Yeah, I'm glad it went well, for sure. And I really appreciate all you guys' help with the scholarships and stuff. That's really helping some people. Y'all coming all the way from here to Murray to do that for them. I know they really appreciate it, and I do too.
Yeah, man. We enjoy doing it.
We also stumble on our words all the time. I have word vomit, but Matt can edit anything, so
that's great.
But I don't edit you, Lauren,
because not me.
That's good to know. Okay, I'll lose some nerves here in a minute.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, man. It's great to have both of y'all on, of course. And Matt asked me, he's like, "Lauren's going to be on. Are you going to be there?" I was like, "Yeah." I'm going to move my schedule around, and then had to move it around again.
Yeah, thank you.
Lauren.
I just appreciate your guys' flexibility. My life is kind of unpredictable. You never know where I'm going to be or what I'm going to be doing. So I appreciate not only the opportunity to come on to this new set, but also the opportunity to sit here with a friend and a peer, and actually friends, plural.
I'm not a friend anymore.
The plural friends.
You're like an afterthought.
Even though I don't,
you guys
I
are
don't
friends.
work with you guys and see you guys all the time. We still are connected. So thank you.
Yeah.
Matt's getting married too. It's
coming up soon.
He's just been a bucket of nerves,
cool. No, everything's been good. But look, Lauren and I used to work together at the Exchange.
Yeah, that's where
every
I know
week
Lauren from.
for almost 2 years.
2 years.
And so that's why you were coming on all the time early on the podcast.
Because I was just begging.
Right. That's what I was trying to figure out the word for.
No, that's not what it had. We wanted you on the podcast.
I wouldn't say begging, but she was asking a lot.
We reconnected at the Exchange also, but in a totally different way.
Yeah, well, that's how you met each other, right? Through the Exchange?
That's how we got back. We've known each other since middle school, but that's how we got back in contact, I believe.
Yeah. Right. Actually, Todd and I learned how to play the xylophone in middle school together. So, because I could not play the French horn. Well, one, I'm not artistic at all. I have no creativity in my bones, and I we try. I don't think I ever played the xylophone. I think I just pretended to.
We say we learned, but I don't think either one of us knows how to play now. So we did something. We made a friendship.
I didn't realize you guys went back that far. That's cool.
And you're selling yourself short again, as always, in Lauren fashion. Your plants are a work of art. I still have a couple of them.
I know. Okay, that is something I struggle with, is imposter syndrome.
My plants are dead, by the way.
Oh, well, that's on you.
No, it's on the cat. The cat decided it was going to destroy all the house plants and declared war. There was nothing I could do.
I'm actually getting it.
Yeah.
I'm getting another cat today.
Yeah, we won't talk about that.
But my cats live with my plants just fine. So
all Matt's animals are horrible people.
They're terrorists.
Okay.
Lauren, tell us what you're doing now.
I don't even know what my job title. No, I lie. About a year ago, I was approached with this opportunity, and when I saw the job description, I thought it was written for me, but it was too good to be true. And so, in sum, I am a Vital Strategies embedded employee, which Vital Strategies is a global health nonprofit, and they are investing $10 million into the states that have the highest overdose rates. And so they have started working in Kentucky as one of the 10 states, and they are embedding staff, funding local nonprofits, grassroots campaigns, anything to reduce overdose deaths. And one of their embedded positions was the opioid settlement advisor at CACO, which is the Kentucky Association of Counties. And so all things tied together, and I was able to land that position because I am good at what I do.
Yes, you are.
Mm-hmm. And so now I provide my title at CACO, is what they call it, Kentucky Association of Counties. I provide technical assistance on county opioid settlement funds. So, for example, we hear opioid settlements, all that kind of stuff. 50% goes to the state, where they grant out different grants. I believe the Four Rivers, the Matter Van, was a grant recipient. But then also 50% goes to local governments. But sometimes these local governments are not subject matter expertise in opioid abatement, opioid remediation, what to do. And so I am learning as I go, but I provide technical assistance. So my title is Opioid Settlement Advisor at CACO, and I provide technical assistance to all 120 counties across the Commonwealth.
It's awesome. Wow, so break it down a little more. We were talking before. Tell me what Breckinridge County is doing so that people can understand how the money's getting spent and what way,
Yeah, so it is new. So we are learning as we go, but I think this position, I'm so proud that CACO partnered with Vital because they saw the need for their members to ask questions, to have best practices. And for example, we are putting on different trainings and bringing on partners and trying to make not only substance use disorder recovery, but digestible and understandable. Whether that sometimes it is pulling at heartstrings, but sometimes it's numbers, sometimes it is data. And so in sum, there was Breckinridge County came to one of our best practices training in June, where they learned about MOUD, the importance, the stigma reduction, just talking about it in a way, because sometimes people just have have a mindset. I try to tell people they're afraid of what they don't know. Mm-hmm. And so from that to June to is now working with a provider, and will be providing behavioral health and substance use disorder medications in their facility, in their county facility, within about 2 weeks.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's a big step. That's a whole lot of changing culture in the state of Kentucky.
It's...
That's going to help a lot of people.
Well, I mean, you're about to cry. I get little goosebumps, because
I mean, it's amazing.
It's a big deal, that's getting into our county jails and our counties, and we're recovering starting before you get out of jail. My recovery definitely did not start until I was well removed from incarceration, and getting that started even earlier and really getting to that level while people are incarcerated, I think is such a huge step towards healthy lives.
Yeah. And I'm learning, and but there's like so many services that are provided to state inmates, but not necessarily provided to county inmates. So expanding these services, one of the things that I learned is like SAP programs. Not only, yes, you get time served, but also the waiting list to get into a SAP program. The need is more
supply and demand.
Well,
there's more people than beds. Basically,
more people need the services than they are having to provide. So having the ability to use these funds and expand those services, so not only make it more available to open it up, but also maybe offering it to the county inmates too, so they are receiving some kind of treatment. That is just one of the ways. I mean, it's a very legalese document, and I'm not a lawyer at all. So I'm learning as I go. But there's a lot of ways to utilize these funds to really help people, and I hope to plant those seeds across the Commonwealth.
We'll be right back.
Hey, y'all. Did you know it's illegal to own just one guinea pig in Switzerland because they get lonely? Here at Turning Point, we don't want you to ever be lonely either. That's why we're open 7 days a week from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Always feel free to come hang with our friendly staff, and don't forget your guinea pig. We're located at 415 Broadway Street, downtown Paducah.
Hello, everybody. You want to know something? My biggest issue with meetings is, despite their name, they are never about me. Here at Turning Point, all of our meetings are for you and about you. We have meetings at least 3 times a day, 7 days a week. We are located at 415 Broadway, Paducah, Kentucky. Call 270-444-3621 for more information.
Yeah, and I'm so glad you're doing that. I think you're perfect for that. And, you did such a great job with the health department there. And, you might want to remind people, since it's been so long since you've been on, is like what got you started in this passion and how far you've come because of things like that.
Yeah, when I was sharing about Breckenridge County to my supervisor, as I share my story, I lost my brother to fentanyl overdose. It'll be 13 years next month. No, wait, this month is September, so 13 years on the 24th. I know. Another invisible string. Andy passed away just a couple days after.
Yeah.
Justin passed away.
Very close.
Very close. So in some, sorry, I ramble. But 13 years ago, there was not Affordable Health Care Act. There was not substance use treatment. I remember me and my mom vividly sitting with what people considered digital evidence, because there was multiple overdose deaths in a community at that time. And somebody looking at me and saying, there's no crime here. He's a felon. But my brother also died in a correctional facility down in Nashville, Davidson County. And so it took a long time for me to say that he died from an overdose and all of the things that go along with it. So seeing the change happen, and no matter if they are an inmate or they are a person, and giving that person another chance at life. And so thank you for that support, and I do believe that I'm the best person for this for this job.
Absolutely. Like you mentioned, 13 years ago, trying to get sober, and today trying to get sober was two totally different worlds. Mm-hmm. I remember trying to get sober back then, and nobody was taking your insurance. It was just almost impossible if you didn't have a family with some real money, or it was just almost impossible, and nobody really knew what to do. And then today things are so much better than they used to be, for sure. But,
the first time I went to treatment was a felony, incarceration, center point. That was the only way I was going to get any treatment, is if I went that route, because it wasn't like I had enough money to pay for it, and I didn't have insurance. Yeah. And I think that Kentucky in particular has gone a long way into creating a lot of beds. Yes. For substance use disorder, and of course we still can go farther. There's still work to be done, but I mean it is night and day from 13 years ago. Yeah. I mean night and day. For sure.
It is. His words often echo. I'm just trying not to feel sick. Mm-hmm. You don't understand. And it was. For me, coming from somebody who doesn't have substance use disorder, it took that for me to open my eyes. And so, I started saying, I could help prevent this from happening to another family. But that was 13 years ago, before we even heard of the word fentanyl. So, but there is still so much good that has came from it. You mentioned the exchange. I miss it. I do. I miss the interactions. I miss people, talking to them, meeting them where they are. Now I just have to meet county officials where they are and see how I can best provide that technical assistance.
I am here today because of that program and the Narcan that was distributed from that program. And I say all the time that I think it's amazing when an addict comes back to help their people and to pull them out of the rubble. But when someone who's never even had a C on their report card and has lived a great life dedicates their life to helping others, I don't even know what the word is for that, but I really appreciate everything that Lauren does.
I did fail economics. And my public speaking was not that good in college.
I'll take back everything I said.
Take back everything you said, because I cannot. Thank you.
I know when I met Lauren, I was still early.
This is not the Lauren podcast.
No. I'm going to talk about the exchange.
Okay.
But it was at the exchange. And I was early in recovery, and I had been I was an IV user, but I'd never been in an exchange because, I always thought, especially in Muhlenberg County, where I was from, like, some of the ladies that worked there were friends with my mother, and I just wouldn't go in, Yeah. Also thought the police were probably watching, and all these misconceptions that we have, Right. But I walk in the exchange, man, and I meet Lauren, and, like, there's a food pantry, there was 3 ladies in there that were just treating people awesome, that didn't have none of them have substance use disorder, but they're treating everybody like me that walked in there just great, smiling, loving on people, and then starting to see people go to treatment through all that, man. It was just like, man, everywhere needs an exchange, because, like, there's so many beautiful things that happen out of that building. Absolutely. And of course, I don't, I've not been in many, but one in Graves County. I hope most of them are ran that way, because that is, to me, that's textbook the way it's supposed to be, man. It's just a safe place, you don't feel judged or anything, and it's pretty awesome.
Well, I heard somewhere the opposite of addiction is connection, and I think it's places like that where you start making those connections. And I think that's huge for people when they feel loved and supported and not judged. It was huge for me anyway. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I've seen a lot of lives. I'm still working out there. I've seen a lot of lives change. I've seen a lot of people come through there, and they'll come back through and always stop in and say thanks for what you guys did. And it's grown so much out there.
Mm-hmm. You want to talk about the expansion?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like we were on one side of the health department,
in that little bit
almost
area.
The whole time I've been out there the last few years, and it then worked great. But now, like, they renovated the whole other side of the building, so much more space, so much nicer, and it's because they see that the program's working, and they see the effect it's having on the community, and they see the support that's come and the lives that have been changed, and it's growing. And hopefully, the other counties in the state will start seeing it and applying it too.
I think of Graves County as it's so vital because it's this far western Kentucky. It's the only one, right? Yeah. So, it is vital to the community. So many more counties than just Graves County. So many more counties.
Yeah, and I think that is a testimony of the work that I just say that I share stories like yours, Todd, like you guys's, but that expansion and that investment wouldn't have happened without people coming to the exchange and people feeling that it's worth it. And so every life is somebody's brother, mother, sister, friend, and at the end of the day, it's not necessarily what you hand them that might get them to the door, but it's how you treat them, and it's that connection. And I believe that is still happening, but that's what I miss the most. I will say that.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's definitely still happening, and the people who are working there and running it and involved with it, with the ASAP and everything, are people that you raised up and trained. So they're doing it the way that you were doing it.
It's not the boring podcast, guys.
But it is.
Yeah,
it is.
It is. And we're gonna get it all in now, and then it'll be another year before you come back.
Okay. I'll bring you a plant.
Okay.
Mine are still alive.
Thanks.
So. This is what happens when you don't show up.
That's plants die.
No, we have to do all the gushing. But I'm so happy that you've been able to go on and continue to grow in your using the abilities that all the things that you did and learned while you were running the exchange and building that up, and now to go on and do what you're doing now and to affect change at a larger level. And that experience and passion that you bring to it is like next level. And, I'm sure everybody's using all that money for what it's supposed to be used for. So
Exhibit E and KRS 15.291, subsection 5 has all the ways that you can spend these funds.
Yeah. It's great. That's what they need to be instructed on. I think most.
They're keeping me employed another year,
Yeah.
There is, if I can share some good things that, Hardin County, which is Elizabethtown. So I'm a county person now. So Hardin County, which is Elizabethtown, they are implementing a QRT team with their opioid abatement funds.
Awesome.
And it's actually out of the coroner's office because she, the deputy coroner, kept seeing things and then wanting to make change. And I think that, she spoke at one of my trainings and connected her with Brandon. And I think that providing these ideas, because sometimes you think team, you think of ongoing purchases, and sometimes that's scary for people who budget because it's all based on tax revenue and things like that. But really, you are taking these funds and making an investment into your community. So, one of the things that I try to share with counties is, for example, if you wanted to hire a peer support in your jail, you can invest, a small amount of money and try it for 3 years and see how many people that peer support can impact, whether it is helping those individuals with reentry services, because there's a lot of services that are already that's already happening, and it's just connecting them and braiding the funding. And so I look forward to sharing that. I look forward to try to plant those seeds and meeting counties where they are, just like people. And I have learned, because here's my metaphor with my planting. When you plant a seed, you never know, but sometimes you have to till the ground before you plant the seed. But sometimes you got to dynamite the ground. Sometimes you might need to really make change because if you keep, so anyways, that's
yeah. I mean, change is happening, even around here, we got the Purchase District Health was on last podcast that opening their hub. We have the Paducah Police has a deflection team now, which is amazing. It's happening here. It's happening across the state. It's because of people caring and doing the work, and
it's pretty awesome with I'll brag on McCracken a little bit for now. Like with the deflection team, you already had Badges of Hope, but the involvement between hospitals, health departments, law enforcement, and then the Recovery Community Center, it's way more than it was when I started out doing this.
Yeah.
McCracken is a recovery-ready community.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're a recovery-ready community.
Mm-hmm.
And, that's a big change in the last 4 years.
There's only about 10 counties across the country that are recovery-ready, so you should.
Oh, wow, that's a huge
across
deal.
the country?
No, take a...
The state?
The state.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
But there are, 100 and so many counties in Kentucky?
There's 120.
Still a big deal.
It's still a big deal. Yeah. So, yeah.
We'll be right back. One thing I have always wondered is who put the alphabet in alphabetical order. At Turning Point, our goal is to help you put your life back in order. If you struggle or have struggled with substance use disorder and are in need of help, come see us at 415 Broadway Street, Paducah, Kentucky, or call 270-444-3621 and sign up for peer support services with one of our friendly staff who have lived experience with addiction. Hope to see you soon.
As a woman in recovery, I know how important having a fellowship of women has been for me. Come join us at the Women of Worth All Recovery Support Group here at Turning Point, 415 Broadway, Paducah, Kentucky, every Friday night at 6 p.m., where we discuss our personal experiences in recovery. Hope to see you there.
I think that is... it really says a lot for McCracken, and, harm reduction looks different in every avenue. And so, again, you have to meet people where they are. Mm-hmm. And people are afraid of what they don't know. Mm-hmm. And so, especially when you think about IV drug use, you have the worst picture in your head. You have people on the street, but I try to tell people, instead of the mindset of not in my backyard, it is, and what can we do to help it?
So, I was in one of the smaller counties, and the lady from the newspaper, out in the van for, everybody knows I'm always out in the van, but she was like, so you're a person, you used to be, you were an alcoholic? And I was like, well, yeah, but not because the program worked, but not probably the way you're thinking. She's like, you just drank too much, right? And I'm like, no, I was, so the IV drug user, preferably meth and heroin, and she was like, oh, I would have never thought that. And I was like, well, I mean, it's the way it is, but you never know what, there's all these, somebody that's an IV user, it lives under the bridge, they sleep on the street, that's all the conceptions, and it's just not always the case.
It's not always the case. And so, but, providing just safe and sterile equipment, a place for people to go, or connecting them to, I say, Sam, I know that you were at the exchange and you did great, but one of the things, Matt, I was worried about him because he didn't talk. He read a book for the first 2 months.
But I told you he was going to do great.
But,
I was new, man. It's all new to me.
No. But it showed people that there is life on the outside. Mm-hmm. And sometimes when I'm talking at that, but from when you're in active addiction, you don't see that. You can only see the next 24, probably only 12 hours. You don't see that. And Matt was somebody that was able to relate and showed them that there is hope. And so even though you might not talk a lot.
Well, now I have time to talk to him because you're not barking orders at me the whole time.
Oh, listen, that's a different kind of deflection right there, man.
Yeah. No, actually, I've gotten way better at that. And, it's just, I was an introvert at first, and I was there, and I was happy to just be helping and stocking, and like she said, being there. They can look at me and tell that I'm not as clean cut as Sam is. They look at me and they're like, oh yeah, he was a drug addict. But I can. Share experience, strength, and hope. And, I tell them how long I've been sober, and I tell them how
4
it's
years,
worked.
right?
Yeah, over 4 years.
4 years. And, congratulations.
Yeah. And so it's, I love going out there. There's been times where I thought I was going to step away from going out there and pass it down to, other people. And
we knew that wasn't going to happen. And you're selfish.
But I enjoy it. I enjoy going out there. I enjoy being part of it. I love seeing how much it's grown. I love seeing the people come in there and the lives change, man, and it's a great thing.
Todd, was one of them.
Yeah, I can attest that what you're doing there really does work. When I was going, the best thing that I knew to do for myself was to just go get clean syringes and some whatever else they had there and some support. And then by sitting there and talking to you guys, it definitely planted a seed. I wasn't ready for it at that time. But later on, when I became ready, I knew where to go, and that's huge.
Yeah, and now you are a peer support.
And peer support now, and running
certified?
Sober Living, and
Yeah, let's talk about Todd.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, let's talk about Todd.
Todd's out there, he's just near town doing big things.
Yeah, let's hear about it.
Yeah, I'm working on it near town, running their Sober Living house. We got 8 guys out there. Shout out to you jerks. No, I really love Neartown. They've been really good to me. Taught me how to be grateful again. And those people out there are just exactly what you guys have been talking about. They love you back to life. They don't treat you any different because of your past or any of that. They realize and they're there to help. It's a really good place to work. Really good place to go for treatment.
I had the joy of working there for a short period of time.
I love it.
Yeah, I love it out there. Now, I always say this. People are, well, then why did you quit? I'm like, well, I get to go do harm reduction in the streets, which I really love, Mm-hmm. But, man, it was an awesome place to work. And, everybody there's awesome people.
For sure.
Yeah. Yeah, and Todd's got such a heart for advocacy and is always trying to find new ways to get involved and spread the word and help people and increase his knowledge of it. And I love that, man. I love to see someone with that passion and that heart. And that's what you come out of addiction, such a dark, hopeless place. Mm-hmm. And when you get to this side of it and you realize how beautiful life is, and you start to appreciate and be grateful, and then you just feel for all the people that are stuck back there, mm-hmm. And to be able to dedicate our lives like all of us have to try and pull people out of that and get them to this side and save them. it's wonderful to see that there's so many more people getting involved in that way and having a heart for that, you know. And I'm just glad to be a part of it.
And I think, you know, what I appreciate, Todd, and what I appreciate you guys is, you know, talking about the many pathways to recovery. It's not black and white. And,
absolutely not.
You know, it's a quote that I hate quoting, but dead people don't recover. And so meeting them where they are and whether, so reducing that stigma and knowing that if somebody is living, breathing, and being grateful and making it another day, then that might not be the best for you, or that might not be what you want for your children, or that might not be what you want, but you're not the one to decide that. And so I appreciate you, Todd, for everything that you do and you stand for, and I look forward to being able for you to share your story across the Commonwealth.
Well, thank you. I look forward to it too. And I guarantee you, back kind of going off what you said, any of these moms or parents who may be against MAT and things like that, if you look to the ones who have lost sons or daughters, I know they wouldn't care if their kid was having to take 2 pills a day or whatever it took to get them back. They'd be so thankful to get the child back.
Thank God for my blood pressure medication, or I wouldn't be here to talk to you. You know,
Yeah.
I take 3 of them a day.
Yeah.
And I mean,
We need to talk about that.
what, my blood pressure?
I think it's a problem.
I think it's a problem.
It's the medication keeps it great. You know, like my doctor
Right.
gave me a nice high five.
That's the point.
When I
That's
come
the
in last
point.
time, you know, and that's what this medication does, is it keeps people alive and living good lives. And I mean, it's just the stigma around it, especially within the recovery community sometimes still, which I think is starting to change, you know. So, I mean, it's really good stuff, you know, and it's person-centered. That is the person-centered recovery. You know, mine's not going to look like Todd. Me and Matt work the same program, and our programs don't look anywhere near the same. I promise you, you know.
I have integrity.
Kind of.
I was going to say, okay, yeah. I was going to say something. I'm a storyteller, as y'all know. And one of the things that Justin shared with me, and I'm more talking about this because it is September, and I don't know when this podcast is going to get released, but I believe in the invisible string, because the first podcast that I was ever on was released on my dad's death anniversary. And so hearing you all praise me was really nice. So anyways, Justin once explained to me that addiction is like being underwater in a submarine. And you take that first pill, that first hit, that first drink, and before you know it, water starts filling up the submarine. And it's a constant battle every day to keep your head above water. And once you think that you've patched this hole, another hole comes in, whether it be you lose your job or, you know, like any trigger that might be minuscule to the average person, somebody with substance use disorder, it's a constant battle every day to keep their head above water. And sometimes medication for substance, MAT, MOUD, whatever initials we want to call it, sometimes that helps that person have that ability to fight that battle. And I think that we have came in society where medicine can help. And so, you know, science, I'm not a scientist and I'm not a doctor, so don't quote me on anything. Or a lawyer. I don't even have any fancy letters after my name. Just BS. That's it. I swear.
Those are the best letters sometimes,
Thank you.
With the MAT and stuff, though, it gives you the time that you need to work on the coping skills to deal with those things. You can do it at your own time. You don't have to fit it all into a 30-day program or a 6-month program, or you can work at it at your own pace and really dig in deep to those things. without the fear of relapse and everything that comes along with it.
Yeah. Because a return to use, a one-time use.
It could be the last use. That's the scary thing.
And that's the reality of it. And so, I think there's many pathways to recovery. And
like with MOUD, it's like you were able to do that, and do the 30 days. Like for me and Matt, they pretty much locked us in a building for a year before we were able to come out back into society. We had a full solid year underneath our belt before we even had to pay for anything. I mean, everything was paid for, I mean, it's how the recovery looks different, especially with the short-term treatment, man. If you made it 30 days with medication, we should be high-fiving people, not telling them, this other way might be. Let's celebrate some stuff,
Harm reduction is no judgment.
Right. High fives and, hugs. Matt loves hugs. For everybody listening, Matt loves hugs.
Yeah, it's so true. What were you saying, Lauren?
Sorry.
I listened to the podcast yesterday, and I'm not going to quote you because I would get it wrong, but you said something about having air in your lungs. Do you remember that?
Todd.
I said something about having air in my lungs.
But having
in his speech,
in your speech, I'm sorry. And so, but just having that opportunity to live another day and having that opportunity to have air in your lungs and be grateful and
absolutely and thankful for each breath that we have to take. There was a time where I didn't even want the next breath. Was afraid to die and afraid to live. So to be grateful for anything is huge for me.
Yeah. And we've come a long way, and we've got a long way to go.
Yes, sir.
And we're in on it. We're ready. We're able. Change is being effected. We're doing our part. Hopefully, the community continues to get involved and do their part. Minds changed, hearts changed, lives changed.
That's it, man.
Thank you.
Is that your wrapping up?
Yeah, pretty good though, right? If I was going to wrap up, that's how I would do it.
I need a joke or a positive, so I'm not crying, but I am incredibly grateful for this opportunity and a microphone and this ability, not only to be on this podcast, but to sit in a room with friends and colleagues and talk about this. And thank you for all the work that you do.
I thought you wanted to say something and not cry.
I know, that's what I'm telling you. Like, make a joke or something. Say something funny.
Okay, we'll have you back on soon to talk about your stalking and your Alaskan cat.
Yes, because there's a whole other story in itself.
Yeah, we just don't have time for all that. And I want to kind of see how it plays out before we get into it.
I'm cooking spaghetti.
She might end up arrested. You never know.
Or married,
or married. Yeah. So, but it's going to be exciting either way.
Y'all are funny.
Yeah. All jokes. But yes, thank you both for coming on. I love you both. I think it's awesome. Check us out on YouTube. Listen to our audio versions on Apple, Google, Spotify, Podbean, Amazon Music. And as always, stay grateful.
If you or someone you know is struggling with addiction or in recovery and needs guidance, speak with Turning Point's team of peer support specialists by calling 270-444-3621. You are not alone, and we are proof that recovery is possible.